Tina Fey and Amy Poehler once again showed the world why they're comedy royalty. On October 11th, the two legends reunited on Saturday Night Live for one of the funniest and sharpest political sketches we've seen in years. The live audience could feel the energy as soon as they appeared. Tina Fey stepped out as Kristi Noem, the Secretary of Homeland Security, while Amy Poehler took on the role of Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. The crowd instantly went wild because it was like a trip back in time. The chemistry, the timing, and that special spark that only these two can create. They've played so many political figures before, and every time they do, it becomes a cultural moment. This night was no different. The sketch began with Poehler's version of Pam Bondi being grilled by senators at a fake Senate Judiciary Committee hearing. It was classic SNL, chaotic, exaggerated, and painfully real at the same time. Poehler played Bondi with that nervous, forced confidence that made it impossible not to laugh. She was dodging questions left and right, smiling awkwardly, trying to sound professional, but the senators kept pressing her harder. And just when it seems like things couldn't get any worse for Bondi, the tension in the room was broken by Tina Fey's dramatic entrance as Kristi Noem. The camera turned, the audience roared, and there she was, all sharp-sued, tough attitude, and that signature smirk that said she was about to steal the show. Tina Fey's version of Kristi Noem was hilarious and brutal at the same time. She started off by saying she spelled her name with an I because that's how she thought it was spelled, instantly making the audience laugh. Fey leaned into every bit of the character's reputation. Confident, controversial, and a little wild. She called herself the rarest type of person in Washington, D.C., a brunette that Donald Trump listens to. It was such a sharp joke that even Amy Poehler broke character for a second and laughed. That's what makes these two so good together. Even after all these years, they can't resist each other's timing. As the scene went on, the sketch dove into Kristi Noem's real-life controversies. Fey's version of Noem bragged about how she shot her dog, calling it an act of heroism instead of cruelty. "Dogs don't just get shot," she said. "Heroes shoot them." The crowd gasped and laughed at the same time, a mix of shock and dark humor that SNL does best. Fey was completely fearless, leaning into the uncomfortable truth of Noem's past, turning it into satire that made people laugh and think at once. She compared the government shutdown to the ending of Old Yeller, saying that the Democrats wanting to end the shutdown made her laugh harder than the ending of Old Yeller. Then she added, "When the dog gets shot, dogs don't just get shot. Heroes shoot them." That line hit like a thunderclap. It was wild, uncomfortable, and funny, exactly what political comedy should be. Amy Poehler's Bondi tried to stay calm through the chaos, asking why the president was sending troops to her home state. Tina's Noem responded instantly, saying it was to protect your people, and then added, "I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump." The delivery was sharp and the audience erupted. The chemistry between the two was pure gold. Every line bounced perfectly. Poehler would give a confused reaction, Tina would hit back with a sarcastic smile, and the crowd couldn't get enough. These two didn't just play characters, they built a rhythm together, like they were dancing through the chaos of politics with punchlines as their music. Then came one of the funniest parts of the sketch, the ICE recruitment parody. Noem, played by Fey, boasted about how government agents were working without pay, but that her boys at ICE didn't mind because they were in it for the love of the game. Then she said, "And how did I find them? By running ads like this." Suddenly, the scene cut to a fake ICE recruitment commercial that was pure comedy gold. A voice asked, "Do you need a job now?" And the man replied, "Yeah." Then, "Are you a big tough guy?" "Yes, yeah." "Tough enough for the army or police?" "No." "Do you take supplements you bought at a gas station?" "Daily." The audience was in stitches. It was perfect satire, poking fun at how ridiculous and aggressive some of the recruitment ads can feel. The ad kept going. "Do you like using zip ties because people in your life don't trust you with keys? You know it." Then buckle up and slap on some Oakleys, big boy. Welcome to ICE. That line sent the audience over the edge. Poehler's Bondi looked horrified, while Faye's Noem stood proudly, holding her imaginary gun like she was posing for a campaign photo. Then when the senator asked, "Does that answer your question?" Bondi said, "No, not even a little bit." And Noem replied, confidently, "Then our work here is done." The timing was perfect. The sketch captured the absurdity of modern politics, where people say outrageous things and then act like they've just delivered wisdom. It was biting. Followed was pure SNL madness. Colin Jost went first, saying a woman in Tennessee gave birth to a 13-pound baby because it's Tennessee and the baby was also pregnant. The audience roared. Then Michael Che hit back with, a woman gave birth to a 13-pound baby. The baby's nickname is Magician, because it basically saw his mother in half. The laughter rolled through the studio and the energy just kept building. Then it was Tina Fey's turn and she didn't hold back. She said, a woman in Tennessee broke a hospital record after giving birth to a 13-pound baby, and then she broke off her husband's penis to make sure it never happened again. The audience screamed. It was shocking, hilarious, and pure Tina. She's always known how to cross the line in the smartest way possible. Then Amy Poehler followed with her own spin. A woman in Tennessee gave birth to a 13-pound baby. The doctor said, it's a boy. Boy, boy, quick. The delivery was perfect. The crowd laughed so hard that even Seth Meyers had to cover his face. The joke-off kept going, one funnier than the next. At one point, someone joked, the record for loosest vagina was previously held by me. The crowd lost it. It was a mix of crude, clever, and classic SNL chaos. By the end, Tina and Amy stood together, declaring, we won. The rest of the cast jokingly argued, but everyone knew they were right. The reunion wasn't just a sketch or a game. It was a celebration of everything they've built together. Seeing them alongside Seth Meyers, Colin Jost, and Michael Che made it clear that SNL is at its best when it honors its